Now, as Delhi and the NCR region struggle under a suffocating apocalypse, Union Environment Minister Bhupendra Yadav has finally addressed the crisis. However, instead of acknowledging the severity of the situation, he praises the government's efforts, claiming that a lot has been done to improve the city's air quality. Now, despite these claims, reality is there in the open for everyone to see. We just saw what was reported. Delhi is currently experiencing its worst air pollution in years, enduring its most severe 5-day pollution streak, that is. Now, Yadav points to the National Clean Air Mission and the push for cleaner fuels as key initiatives. But these measures have failed to prevent the city from choking on toxic air. While Yadav attributes the crisis to seasonal climatic conditions in November, the real culprit are widespread stubble burning, relentless vehicular emissions, and unchecked construction activity. Despite some efforts, the government's actions have been insufficient and poorly enforced, that is. The reality on the ground shows that without stronger, more immediate measures, Delhi's pollution problems will only continue to worsen.
हमारी मंत्रालय के द्वारा 2019 में नेशनल क्लीन एयर प्रोग्राम को लागू किया गया था। ये नेशनल क्लीन एयर प्रोग्राम को हमने 130 शहरों के माध्यम से लागू किया और इन 130 शहरों में हमने जो फंडिंग का क्रिटिकल गैप है उस गैप को भरने का काम किया। क्लीन एयर के लिए जो बाकी नोडल एजेंसीज हैं, म्यूनिसिपैलिटी से लेकर के जो और डिपार्टमेंट, उन नोडल एजेंसीज को एक साथ मिलाकर के आगे बढ़ाने का काम किया। नवंबर की ये जो क्लाइमेटिक कंडीशन आती है उसमें एक बड़ी चुनौती हमारे सामने आती है और इसलिए एक प्रयोग जो हमने किया कि दिल्ली में जितने भी व्हीकल है, व्हीकल पॉल्यूशन को देखते हुए हमने जो पेट्रोल का जो फ्यूल है BS4 से BS6 में चेंज किया ताकि जितना क्लीन फ्यूल हम इस्तेमाल करेंगे उतना इस पॉल्यूशन को कम ही करेंगे।
Nikhil, we heard what he had to say, but clearly, it is raising more eyebrows and actually giving solution to what we're looking at. I mean, you are reporting from ground zero. You'd be in a better situation to really draw perspective on that.
Well, clearly, and this is the bare minimum which has been mentioned by Bhupendra Yadav, who is the Environment Minister. He has gone on to say that they have provided funding as well to as many as 130 cities. They have provided with the incentives as well. But clearly, this is the picture which looks like after the bare minimum which has been done by the government, at least is what being claimed from the side of the Union Environment Minister. Apart from it, his words on the vehicular emission, they are also not enough because the picture reveals otherwise. And this is something which is not being observed for the very first time. Now, we are reporting it for over years now. We all know as to what are the factors which are equally responsible for the same. And this is after so many days, after a thorough campaign which was run by Mirror Now, wherein we held him accountable as to why exactly the minister is not speaking. So yesterday, for the very first time, he was speaking at one of the event in the capital city. It was the FICCI event wherein for the very first time he broke his silence, and also whatever he said clearly are not enough. It is the bare minimum which has been mentioned by Bhupendra Yadav, who is the Environment Minister, and this is being claimed by the Aam Aadmi Party leader and minister in the Delhi government as well, Gopal Rai, who is the Environment Minister for the state. He has said that he wrote a letter to Bhupendra Yadav back in the month of August, and he has written some of the follow-up letter as well, but there has been no response so far, not also on the artificial rain, and let alone calling the meeting of a couple of the stakeholders which may be used for combating the air pollution. And the situation is already out there for the public to see, and whatever the minister is claiming, it is clearly not enough efforts which have been taken, particularly by the central government. Back to you.
Right. And Nikhil, a quick question before I let you go. With the fact that we do look at this reaction that is, but in the overall scheme of things, is there a very lackadaisical approach, considering the fact that you also pointed out you yourself in your professional capacity have been reporting on how this has been a concerning issue for the past several years? But why would that be, considering, anybody, no matter what you're doing in terms of professionally speaking, you are breathing the same toxic air?
Well, it appears like the government is not serious for the same. They have left it over the climatic condition because there are a couple of factors. The weather condition are equally responsible for the same. But this is something which could have been, the situation could have dealt with the kindness as well. And this is something which is a thing of every year. This is something which we are reiterating year by year, that all the factors remain same, all the stakeholders also remain same. It is the Delhi government, it is the environment minister as well. They also know as to what exactly are the things which come into the play. Yet if you are unable to enforce all of those guidelines which are usually out, then we all know as to how serious the government are. And this is something which is clearly appearing as well from the words which are for the very first time coming in from the side of the Bhupendra Yadav, that the government clearly is not sensitive with the issue of the pollution. Merely providing a funding to 130 cities are clearly not going to help, because it is not just about the NCR region. The picture which you usually see, we are reporting from the national capital. This is the reason as to why it usually gets most of the attraction. But it stretches to the city of the Gwalior, to the side of the Agra as well. So it is not just about the NCR region. It stretches to many parts of the northern region. So clearly that the government have failed us, and the Aam Aadmi Party-led Delhi government, they are equally responsible for the same. While they claim that they have improved in terms of the stubble burning cases, but still the enforcement is not as tight as it should have been, and the impact of the same is clearly out there for the public to see.